in every competition just till the near the end. Is that a sort of extra motivation going into the season for you guys?
Yeah, the motivation is always to. There's no extra motivation. At the end of the day, every competition that we enter, every match that we go into, we want to win. There's no two ways about that, or looking at it in any other way. We want to win every game. We want to win every competition. We know that's not possible, but that's the attitude.
And just in terms of Dane Piet gone to India, if you were to announce a new captain the first 3 matches, I think, what would that be?
Well, Peter will be captain while Dane is away. So yeah, that's if you want to ask him any questions, fire away.
Can I just back on just you obviously say you want to win every competition, you want to win every match, but do you as a team sort of set yourself a goal of a number of wins at the start of the season in this competition? You guys won 7 last year, which
6.
was 6, which was amazing, but still sort of fell short. Is that something in the back of your head, or how do you look at the tournament like this going in?
At the end of the day, you don't know how many wins are going to be needed to win the competition. 6 have won in the past. In the season before, we went into the last game 1 point off the lead, having won only 1 game, and the competition winners won 2, I think. So you just never know how many wins you're going to need in the competition. So that conditions will dictate, weather will dictate, all those type of things. Season before, the pitches were quite flat, and there was a lot of draws. Hopefully, we won't be moving back to that. I'm sure that the batsmen will be happy if we move back to that, but it's no good for the competition or in terms of results.
And also, you're going to be missing Zubair Hamza. So, I mean, it's a big player for you. How do you think to replace that and pull it with?
Well, it is sort of one of our goals to move these players on. Mr. Dean mentioned before, all the guys have been in the SAA set up over the winter, and the guys who have made their debuts and gone on to play for the country. That's part of our goal. So we have a plan in place for people who move up. Obviously, I mean we got a squad of 18 players. So I like to think that we can depend on everybody in the squad, and we want to. Not encourage. I mean, it's our goal to move players up to the national team, and obviously we have to have a plan in place for when that happens. And I do believe that we have quite a bit of strength in our depth in the rest of the squad.
Mr. Dean mentioned there's a change coming in the cricket landscape. Does this add a bit more spice to this? The last time that you guys will be vying for those trophies.
Look, I think it's, that question I'm always going to answer the same way. For me, there is no more or less, ever. The next game is the most important game, and we're trying to win that. And we're trying to win that competition. And then the next competition comes along, and we're trying to win the first game, and we're trying to win as many in that competition, to try and win that competition. At the end of the day, we played for the Cobras. There's expectation. There's no guarantees in life, but there's expectation, and we try to embrace that within our team environment. That expectation is part and parcel of playing for the Cobras.
And Ash, you came very close last season. I mean, what's the one thing that you would like to see, especially in the 4 days, that you would like to improve?
Look, at the end of the day, we can't fault the guys for the way we played last year. I mean, you go into the last match with arguably one of the strongest bowling lineups that the competition has seen throughout the year, with Vernon, Pato, Rory didn't play, 2 spinners. Dane Piet was the best form of his career. George had been bowling well. I think we had another seaman, Nabe, I think he broke down, or I'm not sure. But we went into the last game of this competition with an unbelievable bowling attack, a batting lineup who's scored more runs than anybody in the country, and then you get onto a pitch that's a feather bed that if we're batting now, we'll still be batting 6 months later. You know what I'm saying? So those type of things are out of your control, unfortunately. You know, we cannot control, you know, a team is last on the log or second last on the log, and all they want to do is avoid coming last, so they prepare a pitch where they can't lose, so they preserve their second last place on the log, which doesn't help anybody in the competition. You know what I'm saying? So, in fact, what I would like to see is certain suggestions that we make to CSA is that when a team comes last, that you get fined for coming last, or you get relegated, or whatever. But we can't have cricket where there's no consequence for coming last, or playing negative cricket, or whatever the case may be. You know, if we take a team there that we think we can beat anybody with, we can't control the conditions, unfortunately, that's been laid out in front of us. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's okay. You know, if you come last, nothing happens. You come back next year, if you come last again, nothing happens. You don't get relegated. It's not normal sport. Any other sport in any other country around the world, you come last, you pay the price for it. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to see more changes from CSA, create more consequences for non-performance. I'd like to see that.
And on the changes you're talking about, the CSA is probably going to put a big structure from next season. This could be the last go of the season. Does that mean anything to the players?
I did raise it earlier. I said before you came, Mr. Adams, I did raise it. Hey? No, you mustn't come late to press conferences.
If it's a question for the players, I think
Hey?
I'll pass it on to the captain.
Sure, yeah, so I think we're almost exactly on, not almost, we're exactly on the same page as our coach, where sort of the outside circumstances are irrelevant to us. We take every match, every training session, we want to do as well as we can, prepare as well as we can, and then let the results speak for themselves.
Is it a shop window to stay here next season?
I suppose so. I mean, why wouldn't you want to stay in Cape Town? I think if you can stay here, play at Newlands, that is obviously the first prize. But again, you want to do well every season because we're all pushing for higher honours. I don't think any of us are happy staying franchise cricketers. So we're pushing for higher honours, whether there's provincial or franchise cricket next year.
So Peter, with regards to that, you'll have a lot of players that are pushing for higher honours. How do you keep the team together? It doesn't become a selfish thing for personal honours only.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fine balance where if a player does well, that is going to benefit the team. If you've got batsmen scoring close to 1,000 runs, you've got PT who took 50 wickets, where he took 50 wickets and almost won us the competition. So there's obviously room where you need to put the team first, but most of the time that does go together.
And just one more, obviously the red ball season went well last season. How much focus is there on white ball cricket to improve?
Look, I think a lot of the time improvement comes with maturity and having seen more situations in your career. And I think over the last 2 years, having sort of bowed out at the semi-final stage, we've experienced certain situations that a lot of the players wouldn't have experienced before those 2 years. And I'm a firm believer that you sort of improve with maturity of having seen something before and trying to play that situation better next time around. So I don't believe that it's necessarily a case of we don't have players who can play. We have players who can't play white ball cricket. These guys can play all the formats. We're getting ourselves into good positions. It's about playing those situations better with more experience under your belt when we get there this time around.
Lastly, the last 2 years we spoke a lot about the young group of players and the process and the third year of the process. Okay, we still refer to this as young?
Well, it depends. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, if you look at the average age, it's probably still young. But like I said, the experience is there now. We've had 2 years of bombing out at semi-final stages, and whether you learn that at 18, 19, 28, 29 is irrelevant. The important thing is that you experience it and you learn from it. And that the next time you get into the situation, you can recognize it and make a conscious effort or decision to handle it differently. And that comes with experience. Look, at the end of the day, there's no guarantees in life. You know, somebody could be in his job for 20 years and be very experienced, 30 years and be even more experienced, but that doesn't make him one of the best performers in the world in his particular job, if that answers the question. So just because somebody has 20, 30 years of experience doesn't make him one of the best performers in the world in his job. That's a personal thing. So there's a lot of questions about who's going to be here next year and all of that in years to come. At the end of the day, there's going to be more opportunities. So it's not like people are going to lose their jobs. I mean, there'll be jobs all over the place with 12 provinces or 13 provinces, whatever it's going to be. But at the end of the day, you know, what type of pressure environment do you want to put yourself into? What type of expectation do you want to expose yourself to? Because with respect to other people and other places, there probably are one or two places where there's less expectation. Whereas here, like I said before, there's expectation. So those will be decisions for players to make, you know, and that will always be the case.
Just on selecting Peter as captain now of the Heavyweight, there's probably a number of candidates. Why specifically Peter and what honor is for him? As well as, you know, what was basically done to get to this point is why he needed to give up.
Well, the question was asked about the age. I still think it is a young team, but we don't want to keep harping on the age of the squad. So obviously Peter is one of the more senior players in the team, a lot of maturity, and also a leader out in the middle with a bat in terms of his personal role. So yeah, I mean, he ticks most of the boxes as far as that's concerned.
There was an add-on to that. Peter, just talk about to get to this point of captaining the Cobras from what you've had to do.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's obviously a massive honour, that goes without saying. And I mean, Dane Pick led us wonderfully last year, performance-wise and motivation-wise on the field. Nearly took us to the trophy, so really just trying to take that forward and try and fill his shoes as best I can.
Are there any more questions for the panel before we open up to one-on-ones? No. Thank you very much, players.